Hey guys, welcome back to part B of the 2014 number 3. If you looked at the last video, what we did was we took a single array of student names and basically put them into a two-dimensional array. And we had a few parameters that were passed through the constructor. So let's take a look at part B really quickly. Write the remove absence method, remove absence student method, and it's going to remove students who have more than a given number of absences from the seating chart, and it returns the number of students that were removed. Let's just remind ourselves that in part A, we didn't return anything because constructors don't return anything. They don't have a return type, not even void. When a student is removed from the seating chart, a null is placed in the entry for the student in the array seats. So for example, in this case here, they said, what would we do if we had remove absent student 4? That means if anyone has 4 or more absences, they would be removed. I'm sorry, more than 4 absences, they would be removed. So we have Renee, you gotta go, Henry gotta go, Fran gotta go. So it's gonna return the number 3. Those 3 people gotta go, and it's gonna return 3. So, in the previous problem, what we talked about was the importance of this null part. You see, we're just going to go and take a look at people's absences. And once we get there, if you follow me, then what's going to happen here is going to try to get this absence, and you're going to get a null error, null pointer exception error. So something that's really, really important when it comes to an array is to make sure you check to see if it has a null in the place. So if it does, you got to sort of skip over that, otherwise you'll get a null pointer exception error. So we don't care if we're going up and down or left and right, we just want the absence count. So how do we do that? In this case here, we're going to do a double for loop because that's how we go through a two-dimensional array list, and that's this part here, which I've already written out. If the once we get to that location, right, guys? So once we get to this location of once we get to this location, we want to make sure that it does not equal null first. That's the most important thing. Now remember, don't use the dot equals for null. You're going to use this part right here, this exclamation mark with the equal sign. So first, if it doesn't equal null, that means someone's in there. And now we have to make sure, we have to figure out what their absence count is. Now remember, for arrays, we only have access to it. If we want, let's say, the name Danny, then we need to have something like, maybe like a get name. If we want the absence, then we need like a get count. So if you remember on the first page, they gave us both a get name and a get absence count. And so we need to put that here. So if the seats at RC dot get the absence method. So what about this absence? Well, here they have to tell you what the allowed absences are. So if this is more than allowed absence, okay, if this is more, then what we're going to do is we're going to, the student is removed from the seating chart, you got to go, and then we're going to substitute a null in there. And so RC is equal to null. And then remember, this has a return type of an int, so don't forget to return. That's always worth something. So what are we going to return? The count. Wait a minute, I don't have a counter anywhere. So let's put a count right after this guy. Count plus plus. Now you might say, wait, don't we have to initialize count? Sure. Let's put int count equals 0. Now I did it this way and I left out things on purpose because I want you to understand that you can start writing down whatever you know and then work around that. So when I got to the end, I said return count, and I said, wait, I don't even have a counter. So you can do this in different ways. Anyway, I hope that helps, and use your parameters, look at your return types. Always check to see if something is null or not null first.